Hello, welcome. I'm your host, Elizibar. This, The Adventures of Superman, number 482, which is the 29th Superman story in the year 1991, because at this point you had to follow them all along. So if you wanted to keep up with Superman, you're like, oh man, I really like Adventures of Superman. Well, guess what? You're only getting one quarter of the super shenanigans that you thought you were going to get. The continuity goes between all four books, which is kind of weird. Like, Marvel didn't really do that too much. They would mix continuity up a little bit between books, but usually only for events. Like when Maximum Carnage rolled around, you'd get the 13 issues of Maximum Carnage or whatever split over the three different Spider books. Or were there four at that time? Was that before or after the Spider-Man Without an Adjective started being published? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But this is 482, and I got this one because it was next to this guy. Okay. I mean, I like the cover. Parasite punching Superman in the face. Like, that's never really gonna get old. Really, it's not. But this one, really didn't do a whole lot for me. Now, there's some cool stuff in here, but it has that problem a lot of Superman books do, where it's really a soap opera, kind of disguised as a superhero book. And that works. Like, that worked for Spider-Man really well. But my favorite part of the whole book is actually this page. Lois Lane with glorious, like, long flowing hair. Like, she looks great. Okay, the hair looks great. She's looking great. She wakes up, like, the hair's a little messy, right? Like, here, see the little curls that are going the wrong way, that kind of stuff. And then, bam, Superman shows up. They hug. There's a little banter. Morning, beautiful. Spare a cup of coffee for a lonely superhero? Sorry I called you Superman, Clark. Old habit, don't you know? How about some OJ? Like, there's a little bit of playful banter there. The surprise gets her. It feels very human. It feels very genuine. Relationships in many comic books, especially more modern ones, don't feel as organically true as just this simple sequence of panels right here. Like, he's coming in, he's catching her, she's not at her best. She just woke up, the hair's all tousled and whatever, and he doesn't care. She hasn't even brushed her teeth yet, I don't think, right? Like, she's just gotten up and she's answering the phone. And he's like, I'm pulling you in for a kiss, sister. Very human. And, the way this would go down normally is pretty soon one of them would crack a joke about the bad breath or whatever. But we kind of skip over that right to the OJ. It feels real good. Now, of course, I said this book's got like a lot of soap opera stuff. Like, we catch up on her. She was that reporter whose boss like sexually harassed her, Jimmy Olsen. And it's really just kind of impossible for me to follow along with all the drama. But one thing I can follow along with is Parasite showing up. What a great little sequence. I didn't know transformation like that was one of his powers, or if I did know, I forgot. But he looks great here, man. Look at that menacing face right there. He comes out of the shadows. In fact, his face is in shadow. It's good. This is like something you'd see in a horror movie or something like that, you know? It really kind of carries the menace that this character should possess. A lot of times, supervillains don't really feel that scary in comic books because they're just kind of presented as, oh, big tough guy or whatever, and they're showing up and just fighting people who are like them. One super being confronting another super being. But the one thing that shows up a lot in well-written Superman books is people close to Superman get threatened. And so the monsters, the bad guys, have to be shown in that threatening light, because these two are not anywhere near the same scale. Jimmy Olsen, I could beat Jimmy Olsen up, all right? No problem. That little red-headed dude, he's going down. I just headbutt him one time, and he'll be like, bam, gone. Parasite, though, he looks at me funny, I'm probably dead. So the fact that he's drawn here in this kind of really monstrous looking form is really good work. Now, from here on out, we get some super battling and stuff like that. and the book kind of picks up and pace a little bit because we've dropped the soap opera act that just was kind of annoying me, and it just turns into like some fun super shenanigans. I just saw the time. I can't believe I've been talking for 5 minutes, but here we are. Here's the Superman book, 482. It was okay. Cover's not as evocative as the last couple I looked at, and the interior didn't like hold me the same way that the fight sequence in some that the previous book did. But hey, what do you want? You know, it came for the lovely, lovely price of free. At least for me. You were a kid back then, man. $1? Whoo! Talking some real money. You're talking some real money back then. Anyway, take care of yourselves. Bye bye.